Did anyone ever warn you that life after 80 can feel like a curveball, even for the strongest, most independent people? In this video, we're going to explore 5 harsh and often unexpected realities that come with aging past 80. These aren't just the typical changes you hear about, like what your blood pressure looks like or how many pills are in your weekly organizer. These are deeper, quieter shifts, changes in how people treat you, in how you view time, in how your own memories begin to whisper truths you hadn't noticed before. Some of these may echo things you've already felt but struggled to name. Others might take you by surprise, but they all share one thing in common. They shape the way we experience growing older. Stick with us until the end, because while some of these realities may seem tough, simply recognizing them can bring peace, purpose, and even renewed strength. There's something deeply empowering about naming what you're going through and realizing you're not alone. So let's begin. 1. The shrinking world of social connection. One of the first, most unexpected changes after 80 is the quiet shrinking of your social world. Yes, you might still receive the occasional phone call. A family member might drop by, or a friend might check in. But there's no denying, it happens less often now. And even when it does, it may feel different. What once felt like a natural rhythm of conversation and companionship now feels more scattered, sometimes even fragile. Friends move away, grow ill, or pass on. Children and grandchildren get swept up in their own busy lives. And slowly, without even realizing it, you find yourself spending more hours in silence than in shared laughter. This isn't about resentment. It's about reality. After 80, many people aren't talking about how hard it is to maintain those social bonds. You feel the drop in invitations, the longer pauses between visits. Even if you're someone who enjoys solitude, the quiet begins to speak louder than you expected. You may catch yourself reminiscing, not just for nostalgia, but as a way to keep the people you care about present, even if only in memory. The laughter you shared, the routines you once took for granted, they now feel like treasures. There's nothing wrong with feeling this shift. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're lonely in the traditional sense. It's simply a subtle emotional adjustment that few talk about, and yet nearly everyone experiences. That's why staying emotionally connected to yourself, to your story, to even one or two people matters more than ever. Because when the crowd fades, the depth of just a few real connections becomes more precious than ever before. 2. When small health problems become big ones. Another reality that catches many off guard is how small health issues no longer stay small. A mild cold lingers for weeks. A bruise takes forever to fade. A little stumble, one you might have brushed off a few years ago, could now mean days in bed, physical therapy, or even a hospital visit. It's not just that the body is slowing down. It's that recovery becomes less predictable. The margin for error gets smaller. Something as simple as skipping a meal or not drinking enough water can throw your whole system off. You might still feel strong, and in many ways, you are. But your resilience no longer works quietly in the background like it used to. What once felt automatic now demands your full attention, your care, your gentleness. And yet, most people don't talk about this. Friends, family, even your doctor might wave it off as just aging. But you can feel the difference. You carry the weight of every slow recovery. You notice how energy drains faster than it used to. And if you've always taken pride in being active, tough, or independent, this shift can feel frustrating, almost like your body is betraying you. But here's the truth. This awareness is actually a gift. When you understand how your body responds now, you can adjust. You can pause before pushing. You can hydrate, rest, and be kind to yourself, not as a weakness, but as a strategy. Because this stage of life isn't about proving strength, it's about preserving it. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is allow yourself the time and space to fully heal. If you're still watching and finding this video helpful, type number 2 in the comments below to let me know you're with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a good time. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you won't miss our next video. Your support helps us keep creating content that informs and empowers. Now let's continue. 3. The quiet loss of visibility in social spaces. One of the most unsettling shifts that happens with age, especially after 80, is the quiet way you begin to feel invisible. It's not that people are being rude. It's more subtle than that. You walk into a room, and the energy doesn't shift the way it once did. You speak, and people sometimes talk over you, not out of malice, but out of assumption. You find yourself repeating things, waiting longer to be acknowledged, even in your own family. This isn't just about being ignored. It's about a slow erosion of presence in a world that's constantly speeding up and spotlighting youth. And nobody really warns you. It can feel like the world sees your age before it sees you. Your thoughts, your experiences, your stories, they carry so much truth, but sometimes they get brushed aside, muted, discounted. This can spark a mix of emotions, sadness, frustration, even a quiet grief. But there's strength in seeing this for what it really is. It's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of a culture that too often forgets to slow down and listen to its elders. But you are not invisible. Your voice carries weight. Your story matters. And the people who take the time to really listen, the ones who lean in, they are the ones who matter. So don't retreat. Don't fall into silence. Let your voice be the steady reminder of what dignity, depth, and wisdom truly look like. Did anyone warn you that life after 80 could feel like a curveball? Even the strongest, most independent people find themselves caught off guard. In this video, we're diving into 5 harsh and unexpected realities no one escapes after turning 80. These aren't the obvious physical changes or the numbers on your medical chart. These are deeper shifts, quiet changes in how people treat you, how you see time, and how your own memories begin to whisper truths you hadn't noticed before. Some of these may be things you've already felt, but couldn't quite put into words. Others may surprise you, but they all have one thing in common. They shape the way we experience aging. Stay with us until the end, because while these changes may sound harsh, understanding them can help you find peace, purpose, and even renewed strength. There's something incredibly empowering about naming what you're going through and realizing you're not alone in it. Let's begin. Number 1. The shrinking world of social connection. One of the first realities that quietly settles in after 80 is the noticeable shrinking of your social world. You might still get phone calls, still see the occasional visitor, but there's no denying that the frequency has changed. And more importantly, so has the feeling. What once felt like a natural rhythm of friendship and connection may now feel scattered, even fragile. Friends move away, grow ill, or pass on. Family members get busy with their own lives. Without even realizing it, you begin to spend more hours in silence than in conversation. This isn't about bitterness, it's about honesty. After 80, many people aren't talking about how hard it is to keep those connections alive. You notice the drop in invitations, the widening gap between visits. Even if you're not someone who needs constant company, the absence begins to speak louder than you expected. You may find yourself reminiscing more, not just out of nostalgia, but as a way of keeping the people you love present in your life, even if only in memory. The laughter you once shared, the ordinary routines you once took for granted, they start to feel like treasures now. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling this. It's not weakness, and it's not even loneliness in the traditional sense. It's a quiet adjustment that almost everyone faces, yet no one prepares you for. That's why staying emotionally connected to yourself, to your story, even to just one or two people, becomes more important than ever. When the crowd fades, the depth of just a few real connections means more than ever before. Number 2. How small health problems become big ones. Another surprise many people face in their 80s is how even minor health issues no longer stay minor. A small cold lingers longer than it used to. A bruise takes weeks to fade. A stumble that once would have been forgotten by lunch can now lead to weeks in bed, physical therapy, or even surgery. It's not just that your body is slowing down. It's that your ability to recover becomes more unpredictable. The margin for error gets smaller. Something as simple as skipping a meal or not drinking enough water can throw your whole system off. You may still feel strong, and in many ways, you are. But your resilience doesn't work in the background the way it once did. What used to be automatic now needs your attention, your care, your gentleness. Friends, family, even doctors might downplay this shift. But you know the difference. You feel the weight of each recovery. You see how your energy dips lower than before. And if you've always prided yourself on being tough or independent, this can feel like a betrayal. But here's the truth. This awareness is power. When you start noticing how your body responds, you can adjust. You can slow down without giving up. You can tune in to what you need. More rest, more hydration, more forgiveness for yourself. This stage of life isn't about proving anything. It's about protecting the strength you still have by not taking it for granted. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let yourself heal fully. If this part resonated with you, comment number 2 below so I know you're still watching. And if you haven't subscriibed yet, now's a great time. Turning on the bell will make sure you never miss a new video. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content for you. Number 3. The quiet loss of visibility in social spaces. One of the most unsettling changes after 80 is how easily people start to overlook you. Not out of cruelty, but from a quiet cultural shift that few talk about. You walk into a room, and the energy doesn't shift like it once did. You speak, and people talk over you, not because they mean to, but because they assume you're done. You might find yourself repeating things, waiting longer to be acknowledged, or feeling invisible in group settings, even with family. It's not just about being ignored. It's about the subtle erosion of presence in a world that centers youth more than ever before. It can feel like the world sees your age before it sees you. Like your thoughts, stories, and wisdom, however rich, are quietly discounted. This can bring sadness, frustration, even a quiet kind of grief. But here's a shift in perspective. This isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of a culture that forgets to listen to its elders. You are not invisible. The world may not always notice you first, but your voice still carries weight. And those who take the time to really listen, to sit with your stories, your humor, your memories, those are the ones who matter. So don't retreat. Don't let silence define you. Be the quiet force that reminds people what dignity, depth, and endurance truly look like. You may not always be the loudest in the room, but you are the most seasoned, and that carries more power than most realize. Number 4. The narrowing of your daily life. One of the hardest parts of aging after 80 isn't just what happens inside your body. It's what quietly disappears from the outside. Your world, once busy and filled with familiar faces and places, starts to feel smaller. Not all at once, but piece by piece. You go out less, not because you don't want to, but because everything feels farther, harder, or more tiring. Friends who used to stop by move away, fall ill, or pass on. Neighborhoods change. Favorite restaurants close. Your world doesn't collapse. It gently contracts. At first, the loneliness is like background noise, just a little extra quiet. But over time, it gets heavier. Even for the most independent souls, there's something disorienting about seeing the once familiar fade from reach. But recognizing this isn't weakness, it's grief. It's the natural sadness of watching chapters close. It doesn't mean you've given up. It means you cared. But here's the truth. Even as the old world shrinks, a new one can still expand. That expansion might not come from travel or grand events. It might come from a deep conversation, from a friendship with someone younger, from sharing your stories in a way you never have before. The world doesn't have to be wide to be meaningful. It just has to be alive. So call that friend, even if they're far. Join that book group, even if it's online. Take that short walk, even if it's just around the block. Your world may look different, but it's not over. It's evolving. And there's still space, plenty of space, for joy, laughter, and connection. Number 5. The unpredictability of your own body. After 80, your body starts sending mixed messages, often at the worst times. One day you wake up clear-headed and steady. The next, your knees won't cooperate, and your hands struggle to grip a coffee mug. It's not just inconvenient. It feels like betrayal. You've lived in this body your whole life. You've trusted it. And now, it keeps changing the rules on you. Without notice, you plan a walk, then fatigue sneaks up. You bend to tie your shoe, and standing back up takes longer than it used to. Dizziness, stiffness, numbness, they come and go with no pattern. But here's what no one talks about. This unpredictability doesn't just shake your body. It shakes your confidence. You begin to think twice before going out, not because you can't, but because you're unsure what your body might do. That hesitation is real, and it's understandable. But if there's one truth that helps, it's this. Your body may not be consistent, but your response can be. Flexibility becomes your new strength. Adaptability becomes your shield. You learn to prepare, to pace yourself, to rest when needed, to ask for help without shame, to talk to your doctor, not just when things go wrong, but to stay a step ahead. Because even in the face of unpredictability, knowledge gives you power. So yes, your body may surprise you, but you, with your awareness and your experience, are still very much in charge. Final thoughts. We've just walked through 5 harsh realities that often emerge after 80. Each one can catch you off guard, but they also hold hidden strength. From shrinking friendships to your body's unpredictability, these experiences aren't about decline. They're about stepping into this stage of life with your eyes wide open, so you can live it more fully, more wisely, more freely. What stood out to you the most? Which of these realities have you noticed in your own life or in someone close to you? Leave a comment below and share one insight you've taken away from this video and how you plan to respond to it. Maybe it's letting go of guilt, reconnecting with someone, or simply being kinder to your body. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear, because aging doesn't mean losing value. It means gaining depth. And by facing these truths together, we strengthen not only ourselves, but each other. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful, meaningful content to inform and inspire you. We'll see you in the next video.